She's like, what the fuck's going on?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. So I'll give you guys an example, right? When I was in Laredo, Texas, right? They were smuggling in drugs and aliens all day, every day, right? So let's say someone comes into the bridge, right? With 200 kilos of cocaine. Comes in, customs catches them with the drugs, right? In the car. They call us. Hey, we caught this guy at the bridge with 200 kilos of cocaine. You know, we're calling you, right? So you show up, you go to the bridge, right? You tell him, okay, cool. Keep him in the, keep him separated from anybody else that he may be with. I'm going to show up there. You go there, right? If you're the duty agent, you're on call. You show up, you interview the guy. Hey, where are these drugs supposed to go, right? You obviously read him his rights. You have the right to remain silent, blah, blah, blah. Because at this point, he's in custody, right? So you have to read him his rights. Fourth Amendment applies. Then he's going to say, okay, and I would typically say, listen, bro, you got to cooperate. If you don't, we got you on, 20 kilos, 200 kilos, whatever it may be. You're going to serve a significant amount of time. You can either cooperate and help yourself out, or you can go to jail. It's up to you. I can call it an early night, whatever, right? And you kind of act impartial, right? That was a strategy. Then they go, no, I'll cooperate, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to fucking go down for this shit. Because 9 out of 10 times, they don't even know who the hell is supposed to get the drugs next or what organization they're working for. They're just a mule. They're just a dumbass driver, right? So you go, okay, cool. Where are the drugs supposed to go? I don't know. I just know I'm supposed to take them to this parking lot in San Antonio. Cool. Get in the car. We're going to drive to San Antonio. So this is what you call a controlled delivery, right? So then you drive the drugs with the guy there. Typically, he's got to make a phone call to someone, right? Makes a phone call, and then he leaves the area, and then someone else is supposed to come and pick up the dope. That's when you set up surveillance and you wait there, right? You wait. Next person comes in, you arrest this dumbass. Where are you supposed to take the drugs? Oh, I was going to drive him to Houston. Okay, cool. And then you see what I'm saying? You leapfrog this thing all the way up to organization, okay? And you just get cooperators and you work your way up, whatever it may be. And that's how a controlled delivery typically works. That's how a case happens from the border, how you expand an investigation. I did this a million times, whether it was drugs, illegal aliens, whatever it may be. I did controlled deliveries for both. Hell, I even did controlled deliveries for aliens before, which is very difficult to do. You need a bunch of approvals to do it, which, I'll talk to you guys about a case that I did with a controlled delivery of aliens in the future. But that's a whole other thing. It's way easier to control delivery drugs, obviously. So knowing this is how Homeland Security works. And this is how HSI is incorporated in with U.S. Customs and Border Protection, OFO, blue uniform, and then green uniform, U.S. Border Patrol. All right, guys? They're the think of them as the police officers for DHS, and then we are the detectives, okay? Now that you understand this was on the U.S.-Mexican border, okay? Now, I fast forward, 2018, right? I'm now here in Miami. Things are different here in Miami, okay? In Miami, right, you don't have Border Patrol like that, all right? Border Patrol exists here, but they're not to the same degree on the southwest border. You do have customs here, but they're typically at the airports, etc., right? So who do you got? You got the water, right? Who controls the water, guys? The U.S. Coast Guard, okay? So the U.S. Coast Guard is patrolling the water, right? All over the place, right? From a safety perspective, making sure people are okay and they're in compliance with the laws of the sea. Right. And then also, right. And also, if there's issues, whatever, they help you out with distress or whatever. And then also they serve as a law enforcement agency as well. OK, guys, in times of war, the U.S. Coast Guard is activated as a branch of the military. But in times of peace, they're under the Department of Homeland Security. All right. So think of them as maybe like a water version of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. OK, and this is how this case that I'm about to tell you guys about came. It came from the U.S. Coast Guard. All right. So now that we understand what the hell's going on here, how HSI works versus the interdictory agencies, U.S. Coast Guard, U.S. Border Patrol, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Office of Field Operations, blue uniform, green uniform, and then U.S. Coast Guard. Now we can go ahead and talk about this case. All right.